All right, guys, back to work. Back to work. Hope you guys had a fantastic day out there. While markets are finally pulling back after 2 straight days of melting higher. Now, speaking of pullbacks, everyone's waiting to buy the dip right now. Everyone wants to buy that pullback, but you probably know already, picking the perfect pullback entry is not as easy as it sounds, is it? In these situations, bear traps are always my favorite entry technique. I have 3 variations of bear traps I'm tracking for tomorrow. By the time we're done this video, you'll know exactly to make some money with lots of bear traps on Wednesday morning. Now, before we jump in to my favorite trades here for what could be a very busy day tomorrow in our trade room, make sure you subscribe to our channel. I don't want you to miss tomorrow night's video, so make sure you subscribe. And if you like these videos, if you enjoy these lessons, hit that like button for me. Give me a shout out. Give me a hell yeah down in the comments section below. Thank you so much for tuning in, supporting our channel. Enough of the intro, though. Let's go make some more money on what could be a very good day tomorrow morning on a Wednesday trading session. Charts are all ready to go. You can see NASDAQ triple Qs are all ready. Oh, the E-mini and the SPY is ready. I have 4 very easy clues right now on these charts that are telling us where the best winners, where the best entries and exits are going to be for tomorrow. One of those 4 clues is right here on these 60-minute time frames. It's easy to see right now we are bullish on the S&P and SPY, bullish on the NASDAQ and the triple Qs. I like to use these 60-minute time frames to give me the best overall direction. But the one thing the 60-minute will not give us is entry timing. Direction's pretty easy overall. We all know we're pretty bullish right now. Timing the entry, though, that takes a bit more information. I have 3 important clues right now on the tick charts to help us make it easy to time the perfect entry. Let's now drill down and talk about some tick charts for tomorrow. We'll start first here on the S&P and SPY and wrap things up, of course, the NASDAQ and the triple Qs. Keep in mind, the S&P and the NASDAQ, the SPY and the triple Qs are very, very similar. Now, I mentioned earlier, there are 4 total clues. One of those clues on the 60-minute time frame, we know we're bullish overall. Let's cover 3 more important clues here now on these tick charts. First one is a big move higher. Anytime we see a big move, we've been going up and up and up the last couple of days. Anytime we see a big move like this, we do not want to buy high. We want to buy low. And to buy low, I want to buy, we call a 2-legged pullback. In the free video classes, we talk a lot about what we call measured moves, right? 2-legged pullbacks are going to be a bit more than a measured move. That's our second clue overall. Third clue is this bullish range up overhead. Anytime we see a bull market up into a trading range, we know that ranges act like magnets, and we know that ranges love to rotate with symmetry back and forth. That is a very important clue for tomorrow. We'll cover more of that in a moment. The final clue, which might be the most important clue, is, if you recall, we finished the day yesterday with that range there. Anytime we see a range breakout, what happens? Almost like clockwork, we pull back to a breakout pullback off, in this case, the top of that trading range. So now, put all this information together, put all 4 of these clues together. We have an overall bull market right now on the 60-minute. We want to be a buyer with that. A big move higher says, look for that 2-legged pullback a little bit more than a measured move. And we know, of course, that range above us acts like a magnet, and that range below us would love to get that breakout into that breakout pullback zone. I love the idea. My favorite trade for tomorrow is certainly going to be getting that 2-legged pullback, getting somewhere down inside that measured move area, that breakout pullback zone. And this is where bear traps are going to be. Now, bear traps come in all shapes and sizes. I have 3 different variations of bear traps I want to make sure you know for tomorrow. I have 1 more bonus variation we'll toss in as well. And later on in the video tonight, if I'm wrong, if we don't get that nice deep pullback, that bear trap, if I'm wrong, if we run higher here tomorrow morning, I have 3 additional trades I'm tracking just in case we don't get that pullback that we want. So take some notes, grab some screenshots. This will be a masterclass on trapping traders on the wrong side of the market. So let's dive in here. Let's talk about that first scenario. My favorite trade for tomorrow is I would love to get that run going lower and really anywhere underneath that measured move, ideally down around that area. The problem is, as I mentioned earlier, it's tough to pick the exact bottom, right? I don't know how far that pullback will go, so I'm not going to just blindly buy it. What I'll do is I'm going to use one variation of a bear trap. I call these failure patterns, a 2-try failure. And the reason why I like failure patterns, because again, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't pick that bottom. But once we start seeing this thing pull back and we start seeing rookies try once and try twice, see, now I know I got them, right? Now those bears are trapped short, and now I can use those stops as fuel for a run going higher. Can we all agree this is the last place I want to sell? If you're going to sell, you want to sell high, right? These are rookies selling down here. Worst place to want to sell short. So if I can trap in those rookies once, twice, I'd love to use their stops to fuel that move running back where? Back up into that range above us, because we know ranges act like magnets. Now, another variation of a trap is a technical trap. A technical trap is a higher high in price and a move just below that prior low. These are technical bear traps. So 2 variations of it. I call this a failure into a trap combination, or a failure into a pullback combination inside our free trading classes. This is one of the ways in which I want to use bear traps to make some money tomorrow. Now, this may not be as picture perfect as I'm showing you right now. For example, a lot of times what happens is we'll get that strong run down, we'll get that nice deep pullback, we're going to get that bear trap, that failure pattern off that low. Don't pick the bottom, right? Trap those rookie bears in once, twice. A lot of times in our trade room, we'll get that failure pattern, it'll pop up, but because this move down is so strong, it'll roll over, take out that low, and give us another bite at this apple. If they retest that low, now think about this scenario real quickly here. Bears who sell short up there, where's their profit target? Their profit target is at that low. So is it safe to say anybody who sells short on that pullback right now, their targets are back to retest the low. So sellers become buyers at that low. Now, let's see if we get some rookies in here to chase after it. Again, 1 try for the bears, 2 try for the bears, trap those bears in. Again, a failure pattern first, and then as we go higher, to go back up into that range above, a technical bear trap will come in. It's a higher high in price and a move right below that low. So remember, oftentimes we'll get that initial failure. We'll get our 1-to-1 first target. Our stop moves up to point of entry. It's a winning trade overall, but then what happens is we hold resistance, we run back down again. This is not a reversal. Remember, we got a big move higher the last few days. Do not let that double bottom fool you into thinking it's a reversal. It's not a reversal, not at this point yet at least. It has to go a lot further than that to be a reversal. Trap those bears in, and again, when I say bear trap, one variation is that seller failure, 1 try, 2 try, and then again, that technical bear trap, the higher high in price, the trap below that low. Targets are back up into that range, back up to retest the high. Now, one more variation on this. This is the least attractive, but I want to make sure we're all ready for this. Sometimes the market makes a strong run down. There are so many buyers down here that we don't get a chance to trap the bears in a run back up. Sometimes there's so many buyers waiting to buy the dip, it just whoop and runs right back up, and we never get that chance to get that failure pattern off that low. These can be a bit challenging because what happens is when they V bottom off of that low, the market begins to grind and grind. It almost kind of teases you like, come on, get in, right? The trick though is do not let that voice in your head confuse you. Watch closely, draw a trend line off the high, bring it down off that low, and repeat after me. First test is the best test. First test is the best test. Now in the free video class, we talk about traps here, right? Find some prior swings. I want that first test off the low of that channel. Again, I want to buy nice and low. I want to trap those bears in off of that low, but there might be so many buyers down there. If it V bottoms off of that low and grinds going higher, the biggest problem is don't chase after it. Wait for that pullback. Wait for that first test off low of that channel. It could be a bear trap, like we show when you hear. It oftentimes is under the moving average. It becomes a failure pattern. Below that 21 EMA, failure into pullback, failure into bear trap combination. But that's how I want to trade this if we don't get that failure pattern to get in buying nice and low. Now, let's slow down for a second, because I know most of you guys and gals watching right now, you know this stuff already. You know traps, failures, how to trade V bottoms, how to use two-legged pullbacks. But if you're watching for the first time right now, this might be a brand new language for you. But don't you worry. I teach all these entry patterns. I have hundreds of examples of traps and failures and a whole lot more. I teach all this in my free video classes. I'll put a link up here for you, upper right-hand corner. Don't you worry. Grab the link that popped up there, hit that link, and take that free trading course, because the strategy I teach in that short video series will teach you a simple trick we use in our members trade room to know exactly where the best winning trades are going to be each day. And of course, I want to help you start making money on your own. I'll teach you 4 my favorite entry patterns. You'll learn failures, traps, and a whole lot more, guys. The markets are way too good right now. If you're not making consistent money each day, if you're missing the best trades right now, if you're struggling to qualify for a funded account at Apex or Top Step, hit the link that popped up there. Take that free video course. It's perfect for someone trying to make the jump into full-time trading. Also, be aware too, I'm going to put all the important links tonight, the description of the YouTube video. The free class links will be down there. We trade together every day in our trade room. I'll put our trade room membership links in the description as well. And also too, I post a lot of updates on Twitter or X throughout the day. If you're on Twitter or X, give me a follow. All the details in the description of the video. But make sure that you take that free trading course, because again, it'll teach you the right entry techniques for those failures into those trap combinations I keep talking about here tonight on this video. Now, one more, and then again, we'll cover that NASDAQ in a moment, and we'll talk about if we go higher here in a second, right? Because we may not get that deep pullback, and I want to make sure you guys are ready. I got 3 entry patterns I'm watching for if we do go higher. We may not get that strong run down. I want to. However, you'll notice that channel right here, off that high, right off of that low. You'll notice that retest right there. Sometimes we get a strong run down, it retests the low, but that's all it does. It doesn't give us that full 2-legged pullback. So if I don't get that deep pullback, what's my concern? I don't want to buy too high right now, because we made this big run the last few days. Anytime I have a shallow pullback, guess what entry pattern we're going to use? It will always be you guessed it, a bear trap. Now watch close to this one. A slight variation in this one. If all we get is a shallow pullback, and again, it could be here, it could be here, it won't be down here, all right? I don't want to buy too high. So we buy low by using 1 try for the bears, 2 try for the bears, higher high in price, I move right below that low. This is like a failure pattern and a technical trap pattern. Last night we called these crown reversals. You might call this a crown reversal, but make sure you know the difference. There's a very big difference here, right? There's a difference between going lower, bears once, bears twice. This is a failure pattern. In this scenario, I'm not worried about buying too high. I can buy as the market goes higher. In a shallow pullback environment, I do worry I'm buying too high. I'm also worried we're going to keep going back into that area in that breakout pullback zone. Because of that, this is where we need to get that technical bear trap. And again, it's a higher high in price, right below that low. The moving average will come over, and you'll get a nice strong signal candle. We teach this stuff again inside the free video classes. Nice strong candle for that run back higher. Now, if all we get, and again, this is kind of that third variation of those bear traps, a shallow pullback, I want to buy as low as I possibly can. I don't want to buy as we're going higher. I want to already be in this trade as we're going higher. Remember, we know range above us. That range is a magnet. Measure below, measure above, and leave that runner, right? So now you know some variations of some deep pullbacks, some V bottoms, double bottom reversals, and if we get that shallow pullback, what I'm looking for there for that shallow pullback trap. Now let's cover if we go higher here. Because in all reality, these markets have been high, been riding high the last couple of days here. There's no guarantee tomorrow is the day we get that two-legged pullback. How about some NASDAQ? NASDAQ's getting a bit lonely over here. You can easily tell the market right now is bullish overall. And just like on the S&P, we've got 3 more clues here on the tick charts. We have that big move higher on the NASDAQ. Big move higher says two-legged pullback and a retest of that high. We see that range overhead. We know that range wants to rotate higher and take out what? That pendulum swing, which we teach, of course, in more detail in the free video class, right? Pendulum swing target overhead. And my favorite scenario for tomorrow is that previous trading range from yesterday afternoon. We get the breakout and the pullback. I love how the two-legged pullback comes right together, right with that breakout pullback zone. That is my favorite spot there for tomorrow. And the same game plan we talked about, right? The same game plan, that same failure into technical bear trap we keep talking about, that same double bottom reversal, that same V bottom, right? Whoop, right back up again. And that same shallow pullback trap is all on my radar here on the NASDAQ for tomorrow. Now, what if we don't get it? Right? What if we don't get it? I know what I want tomorrow, but my job in these videos is to prepare myself and you for whatever the market may throw at us for tomorrow. First of all, we know overhead. We know that range above us wants to rotate, right? It wants to rotate roughly about the same amount below the market, right? Below the range right now, up above overhead. Now, if we go higher here, what's my concern? What's my challenge? What's my problem? My problem is I don't want to buy high. Right? If we rotate higher, I don't want to buy high. I talked this moment ago, what's the one entry pattern we use if we don't want to buy high, right? If we start rotating higher here, what's the pattern we use? It's always going to be a bear trap. And if we're lucky, trend out the highs, off that low, look left, find some prior swings. That first test is the best test, right? This, of course, is the more aggressive way to do it. But again, it is a bear trap on the way where? On the way rotating other side of that trading range. As we go higher, I want to find those bear traps. Remember, it's higher high in price, right below prior swings. And if possible, I'd love to use a channel on this off the high, off the low, squeeze those bears, run those stops, and run back higher again. A shallow pullback trap, a trap during that range rotation. Now, let's fast forward now. Let's say now we get that strong run going higher. Now we're really high up. I definitely don't want to buy way up here. I can sell this. There is one type of pattern to look for tomorrow to short this. I'll cover that in a moment. But now think about this. We mentioned earlier that anytime we have a range breakout, we love to get breakout pullback. So now just simply copy and paste that going higher. There's my trading range. What was resistance now will become an area of support up there, right? So now think about this. If we end up rolling higher here, I don't want to buy high. I want to buy low. How do we buy low in these cases? A two-legged pullback. And again, that will be below the moving average. Think about a bit more than a measured move, right? Think about that A, B, C, D. That will give us the general area for the entry. Combine that along with the top of that trading range, and that is a recipe for some profit. Now, hold on though, right? Because what is stopping this from rotating all the way back down again? Nothing, right? That could easily rotate all the way back down again. So I'm not going to blindly buy that two-legged pullback, right? That's kind of a rookie mistake I made almost 20 years ago. What I'd rather do is same thing, right? Let's not pick the bottom. Let's wait for these bears to get stuck a couple times, use their stops to fuel the move. Again, one variation of a bear trap. And as we go higher, it's always going to be that bear trap, that technical bear trap on this one, that higher high in price and that trap below that low. Now, pay attention, guys, because very important. Anytime we see a breakout of a range, we can use the size of that breakout leg as a target. Okay, anytime we see a range breakout, we can use the size of the breakout leg as a measuring leg. So once we know how big that breakout higher is, I'm going to take the size of that leg, I'm going to pin it at the low of that pullback area, and that will tell me now where that final target will be tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon in our trade room. All right, that is the breakout pullback. Buying breakout pullbacks, again, it's a simple idea, but timing the entry, right? It's a two-legged pullback. Trap those bears in, squeeze those stops, failure pattern, bear trap pattern, and again, think about that measured move technique to find that target up overhead. Now, last but not least here tonight, how could I sell off the high? If we run all the way up, how would I short this thing? Very carefully, right? Very carefully, because there's a lot of bullish momentum on this. I can get a lot of good short signals up here, but it keeps on going higher. In these situations, whenever we have a rotation off the low like this, I don't like to look for that crown reversal pattern, right? We talk a lot about crown reversals, but after a rotation like this, I'm not a big fan of that crown reversal. That is the most aggressive variation of this. It's buyers once, buyers twice. I know a lot of you guys watching right now are familiar with crown reversals. One try, two try, and a bull trap off the high. Be careful on a crown reversal whenever we are rotating off the low like that, because it will keep on going and going and going. What I'd rather do is wait for that V-top. Wait for a V-top. Get up here, show me some proof here, bears, and whack that thing back down. Once we start seeing this V-top and we get that grind going down, this is a much better spot here now for, not better spot, but better entry. This is a lot more reliable, right? This is probably a 30% short up here, right? That's more like a 75, 80% short, right there. You can take that 30% short, but don't be surprised if you're not getting good results over the long run. I would much rather save my bullets and wait for a 75% winner and 80% winner, which is what this V-top will end up being. All right, so aggressive bears up here can try to get that buyers once, buyers twice, technical bull trap on this. We call those crown reversals for the short. I personally, though, look for that V-top. Show me evidence. Show me the bears are here. Whack it back down. Don't hold, right? Because again, we'll see right away. We're going to see if they hold that breakout pullback off the high. We're so bullish overall right now that the odds are pretty good we do hold that breakout pullback. But if we start cranking, if we start pushing lower and grinding down, and we start seeing the writing down the wall, we're not holding that breakout pullback. Now, where does the market want to go? It wants to rotate where? All the way back down to that low. That's our target. Now find the entry, draw a trend line off that low, bring it up around that high. Again, look left, find prior swings, and you want that first test off the high of that channel. It could be a bull trap, like I'm showing right here. A lot of times, again, it'll pop up above the moving average. Buyers will try a couple times. There's your failure pattern, failure into pullback, failure into trap pattern on the way back down again. Leave that runner, right? Leave that runner. And think about it too, right? If we go all the way up and wind up all the way back down again, what do? Do it again, right? 1, 2, trap the bears in, pop it up, roll back up again, trade that rotation. Back and forth. Don't be surprised, by the way, in a situation like this, if it rolls all the way off that high, don't be surprised if they hold the underbelly of that range, make one more shot going lower, and give us that double bottom retest, that second bite at the apple, as we always say, on the way back up again, right? Because that momentum in these scenarios, if we rotate all the way off that high, right? All of that momentum going lower is so strong, we'll oftentimes get that failure. We'll get a winner out of it, but again, it won't keep going for us. It'll roll over, retest the low. And again, these double bottoms like this, they are oftentimes the most lucrative trade, because now everybody's trapped in, because rookies think it's a reversal overall. All right, guys, that's my game plan to trade this. If we go lower, if we go higher, a bunch of variations. Now, the plan is set for tomorrow. Now, don't forget, though, tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time, the easiest way to start making money with this is to come out and learn this and trade with me every morning in our trade room. I'm going to put all the important links tonight, the description of the video, the free class links. I would definitely start with a free video course first. Get your feet wet, get a good fundamentals, skills. Fantastic week so far. Got another big day coming tomorrow. Hope you learned a bunch in the video here tonight. Hope you use this knowledge to make a bunch tomorrow morning, and hopefully I'll see you sometime soon trading with us in the morning room at 8 o'clock Eastern time. In the meantime, be well, be nice to each other out there, and you better be here next time. Adios, amigos. Bye for now.